Okay, hello and welcome to this very special episode of Quizzing. I realize that I watch a lot of movies and shows, as all of you know, and I watched this genuinely one of the freshest show that I've ever seen coming out of India in particular, but world in general, so to speak. And I have been obsessing over the show. The show came out on 18th October last month, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. I literally bought a book about Andaman and the tribes of Andaman, started reading it. I have been talking about the show with all my friends from every sphere of my life. And then I wanted to talk more about the show. And of course, one of the best excuses on our channel to talk to people is to just organize a quiz around it. So I've managed to do that. We are doing this special quiz centered around the theme of this wonderful show that came out on Netflix last month. And this week, the timing is crazy because earlier this week, uh, the season two, the next season of the show was announced. So, very nice, which also is sort of a testament to how good the show has been and how well reviewed it has been, both critically and I'm sure in terms of numbers as well. I am very happy that we've managed to get 4 people associated with the show for the stream. So we'll quiz, but we'll also try and know more about the show from these 4 amazing people that we have gathered together here on the stream. Let me call them one by one. Our first guest, all 4 of them are making their debut, so to speak, on our channel. So I'm very happy on that front as well. The first contestant has been a fan of quizzing for very long time. So I've always wanted him to be here. We did try to get him for one of our general editions or pop culture movies edition, but he's here for a show that he has directed. He, along with Samir Saxena, he's the other director of the show and directors of many shows that you and I and all of us have loved. Give it up for Amit Golani.
Hello.
Welcome,
Hi,
Golu.
hi.
Finally,
Woo!
yes.
Yes,
Are you?
finally on quizzing with K.
Yes. Golu, it's been, I know your life has been about this show for like at least, I think, 2 years, if not
Yeah.
more, at least 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So is it like finally you're like, okay, ho gaya, or suddenly now you're like, up to season 2 bhi aa gaya yaar.
Like you said, that was a 1 week of bliss in between before the pressure of ki yaar, ab second season we have to do it. We have to now make a even better second season. But yeah, the pressure is what we have chosen,
Hmm,
and
hmm, hmm.
hopefully we thrive on. So no complaints there.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, next contestant, also one of the best writers that I've personally come across, and a lot of people in Indian internet fraternity would agree that some of the best written shows in the last many years have come from his proverbial pen and keyboard or whatever he uses for writing. He's also, of course, the writer behind Kaala Paani. Give it up for Biswapati Sarkar.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Biswa. Already writing season 2 or no?
No pressure.
Any spoilers? Like, is season 2 continuation of that, or is it a completely fresh thing, or you can't reveal it as of now?
नहीं continuation ही है ये this I can
अच्छा.
read because it's a continuation of the story but हाँ मतलब अभी वही डर लग रहा है कि पता नहीं how will match the standards to season 1 but हाँ
But what a show! But we'll talk more about it, Visto, through
Yes.
the stream, through this episode. On that note, our next contestant, I don't know how much spoiler we can give. So let me clarify this to our audience that this stream, if you have not seen the show, ideally watch the show before you watch this quiz, because
yeah
there might be, we can't withhold a lot of.
Because it will be difficult to talk otherwise.
Exactly.
without
So please,
understanding anything.
if you've seen the show, great. Please continue watching. If you haven't, pause it, go back, finish it in like, depending on how much time you take to finish.
Only
It
7
might take a
hours.
lot. It might sometime because you might need to pause, process. It's
Yeah.
that kind of a show. But yeah, please come back to this video. So yes, on that note, somebody who plays a very wonderful character in the show. And I'm waiting to, can we reveal the thing that happens in the character? Okay, one character that you will miss a lot in the show after a certain point. It is akin to Ned Stark's departure from Game of Thrones, almost that level when a certain thing happens in the show. Give it up for the one and only Mona Singh.
Hello.
Mona, we
Hello,
already.
Varun.
Hi, Mona. Welcome to this channel.
Thank you for
please-
having us.
Thank you for taking out time for this. We were very like when Amit and I started discussing, we were like, I'll just get Sam, Bisso, Amit, and we'll figure. And Amit was like, no, we can get like Mona and everything. Really? नहीं 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 ऐसे इमोशन के साथ छेड़छाड़ नहीं करते अमित. But I'm so privileged that you're here.
Thank you, thank you.
But so, okay, now that we have decided to give spoilers out, Mona, does it feel weird that they're talking about season 2 and all that? So will you be missing being part of this whole action? Or?
देखो FOMO तो पहले ही शुरू हो गया था after second episode. So yeah, I'm just very happy and celebrating the fact that I've been a part of such a cult show. अभी season 2 में I should meet Bisu separately and tell him कि भाई कुछ लिख दो मेरा भी.
मैं भी वही बोल रहा था because the show keeps going back and forth in time, so you never know.
There you go.
Every character actually you've nicely shown their backstory and all, and Mona's character you haven't. So there is one full scope of Don Vito Corleone. Where how did he come to New York?
Thanks, Varun.
One ship will
I
come.
so want that.
Oh man, wonderful. Okay, we'll talk more about these, but now to one. I know every character is being talked about a lot. Like Mona said, it has almost become a cult show now. But my personal favorite and a lot of my friends' favorite character is, of course, the one who never dies, as the word. Chiranjeevi is the word. Chiru, and one of the most wonderful character arcs you will ever see in an Indian web show. I'm so happy he's also here in this stream. Give it up for Sukant.
Hi, Varun. Hi, director, writer, doctor.
Doctor. Hi, Oraka.
Biggest spoiler.
There's a heavy spoiler.
ये बिटर हैं ये बिटर हैं ये इसलिए सारी स्पॉयलर्स देंगी अभी.
मोना इज लाइक तुम मेरे मौत का स्पॉइलर दोगे, ये लो तुम्हारे जन्म का स्पॉइलर.
No. We got to make a spin-off on Better Call Saudamini or something like that.
Yes.
Better Call
Saudamini.
Better Call Saudamini.
But Sukant, I mean, I'm sure you've given so many interviews, so I will not ask any cliched questions. How you prepared for the role? How was the process? All that I won't do. But like, I just want to talk about your accent. Where did you pick that very specific accent for the show, which was crazy?
From the islands itself, in Andaman. Because I went there and I remember Bisso had told me during the audition that they speak slightly differently. On paper, it might look like a regular, almost touching the Bambaiya kind of slang lingo, but he said it's different, and he sent me some videos. But I picked it up from local people in Andaman. I visited it for a week before the shoot, and it's such a fascinating dialect.
Wow.
Yeah, so I picked it up from there.
Cool. Okay, we'll start the quiz now. Okay, all of you are excited, I'm sure. It's very easy. Basic Andaman ke around the sari question. And yeah, audience, once more, let's begin the quiz. We have Amit, we have Bisso, we have somebody who dies and somebody who never dies. What a great man.
Wow.
Somebody who died and Chiranjeevi literally
Season 1.
Nicely pointed out. Yeah.
Yes. Cool. Okay.
Okay, great.
Question number 1. This is for Golu. This is for Amit. Okay. X and Y find their roots in the Malay language. X is believed to originate from Hanuman, alternatively known as dash in Malay. On the other hand, Y seems to be a variation of the South Indian word Nakkavaram, which is land of the naked, as documented in the significant Tanjore inscription dating back to AD 1050. Tell me, what is X and what is Y? X comes from something.
I don't need to fill the dash X and Y.
Yeah. Just tell me X and Y.
So yeah, I think it is Andaman and Nicobar Islands.
Yes, what a great warm-up question.
Wow.
And the dash is Handuman.
Yeah.
The dash was very obvious.
Wow.
Okay, it is Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, Andaman and Nicobar. Nicobar comes from Nakkavaram and Andaman comes from Handuman. Okay, Andaman and Nicobar. See, simple. 10 points.
Wow.
Okay, 10 points from it. Sorry, not Bisso. Next question will be to Bisso. Okay, we talked about language with Sukant earlier. So the next question is about language of Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, so the Nicobar Islands have 5 Nicobarese languages, part of the Austro-Asiatic family, spoken by about 29,000 people, which is roughly 8% of the population. In the Andaman Islands, there are endangered or extinct Andamanese languages unrelated to each other or any other language group. However, the majority speak immigrant languages. For example, X. X is the highest in number, like the largest spoken language in Andaman is X, with roughly 29% of the population speaks X, followed by another language with 15%, another language with 13%, another language which is Hindi, which is around 13%, then another language with 7%, then Sadri, which also comes from, it's spoken near Jharkhand and Chota Nagpur plateau. Then there is Kurukh, which is spoken in Odisha, etc., 4%. Hindi, as we know, is the official language. English is an additional official language for communication purposes. Now, question is very simple. What is the most widely spoken language on the islands? Okay, so I don't want any other blank. I just want X. Okay.
Bisto knows this.
Yeah, so X is Bengali, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is correct. 10
Yeah.
point
What a
to
coincidence that Bisso gets this question. Biswapati
Yeah.
Sarkar gets
Yeah.
Biswapati
And
Sarkar.
I just want to know the next one is, I think, Tamil.
हाँ,
Yeah.
The last one is Malayalam. Is it Malayalam?
हाँ,
Yes,
वो उसका
yes.
blank भी बड़ा है
Yeah.
मलयालम.
Yes,
Third is
Malayalam.
13%, which one?
Telugu, I think.
Telugu.
Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam.
Oh.
Yeah.
हाँ, Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Malayalam, Shadri,
Yeah.
Kuruk, Bangla, Bengali is the
I think
Hi.
the guy you had met, Sukant, he was also like Bengali accent. That was the guy you were
No, he was Tamil. He was Tamil.
He was
His name
Tamil.
was P. Yeah, P. Nagur Ravi. Yeah, but
And this is
he
some-
did not like the Nagur part, so he used to only write Ravi. And one day I saw Nagur Ravi written because we were going to cross the forests, and there you have to put your whole name there. So I asked him, who is Nagur Ravi? He said, वो हमको नागुर अच्छा नहीं लगता.
Okay, this is this. I think Vishwa will know, but this is Chala Jai Andaman. Let's go to Andaman. ऐसा कुछ-
Chalo Jai Andaman, huh?
Chala Jai Andaman. Okay, I just want to take a quick break and then talk to, since it was Bisso's
Sure.
director and he answered, I want to talk, one question from Bisso is when you started writing the show, one of the things about the show that hits you as a viewer is that it's a completely fresh universe. Like, बाद में बात करेंगे कि अच्छा है, बुरा है, कैसा लगा, क्या लगा, but we have not seen shows around Andaman. I can't remember any show in that ecosystem, especially in our industry where कोई एक जगह चलता है तो every show comes from there only. If there is a Bareilly show, then there'll be a Rampur show and Kanpur show and Mirzapur show and Nagpur show. We follow very like, but to suddenly come up with an Andaman show, how did that start? Like, what was the genesis?
So, like, this story was with me for quite some years, or matlab, I had gone to Andaman and Nicobar myself as a kid. तो वहां पे सेलुलर जेल में एक गाइड था who mentioned काला पानी ने इसको काल पानी बोलते हैं और काल मतलब डेथ. So that stayed with me, and I was kind of imagining this story. There's this Stephen King novel called Under the Dome. तो मैंने पढ़ा नहीं था उसका synopsis, तब मैंने पढ़ा था right after coming, and I realized कि यार ये if something like this actually happens, ये physically होने की जरूरत नहीं, because the islands में you can't leave. And then I saw this film called Contagion कई साल पहले, and then I thought कि अरे यहाँ पे ऐसा कुछ कर सकते हैं. But of course जब COVID हुआ, then the whole perspective changed of the story. Like, I was earlier imagining it as a medical thriller, you know, doctors and scientists figuring out how to cure. So that only became an aspect of the show, because having lived through a pandemic, you realize कि ultimately it's a story about people, it's a story about humans. मतलब the thing that we'll take away from the COVID pandemic is कि क्या हुआ हमारे आसपास, lockdown, ये सारी चीजें याद रहेंगी हमें. तो I think that was the intention, to see a lot of human struggle amidst, of course, the medical aspect is there. So that's how the story was born. And हाँ मतलब actually ये कभी we never discussed कि बहुत अलग है, you are setting it came so naturally. Like, only after release I realized कि oh हाँ ये बाकी shows से बहुत अलग है. But पहले even when we were doing it, we knew कि हाँ ये थोड़ा सा नया है, ये कभी हुआ नहीं है. But वो वैसा नहीं था कि oh अच्छा we are showing Andaman and this is fresh. वैसा उस lens से we hadn't seen it.
Wow. But thank you for writing it, and giving us a show which is so visually and every aspect so very different from any show out there. Okay, we'll come back to the quiz. Bangla was correct. Biswapati gets 10 points there for that. Next direct will be to Mona. Mona, I'm talking about a certain
I'm going to
film.
pass it.
No, don't worry. You'll see.
Amazing.
Okay, talking about a certain film, X released on April 6th, 1996 in 450 theaters globally, marking the most extensive release for any Indian film at the time. It has since gained recognition as a Malayalam cinema classic. Originally produced in Malayalam, the movie was later dubbed and released in Hindi as well, in Tamil as Sire Chalai, and in Telugu as the same name as Malayalam, X. Amitabh Bachchan, in fact, acquired the Hindi dubbing rights and provided the prologue for the Hindi version. The film earned 4 National Film Awards, including Best Art Direction, Best Special Effects, and Best Cinematography, along with 7 Kerala State Film Awards. Tell me, which film are we talking about?
In
And
1996.
And one big clue is it won't be a random, it will be something to do with
Connected.
what we're doing today, like in the theme, in the spirit of today's quiz. That's one hint.
Kaala Paani.
Yes, that is correct. It is, of course,
Wow.
Mohanlal.
Wow.
Kaala Paani, the movie.
Priyadarshan.
Thank you, Varun. Thank you for the biggest clue.
मुझे तो क्लू के बाद भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा था.
मुझे सिर्फ क्लू के बाद ही समझ आया.
Wasn't it Sazaye Kaala Paani?
In Hindi dub was called Sazaye Kaala Paani.
Ah,
Okay, that's why I didn't write the Hindi dub ka name. Malayalam is Kaala Paani, Hindi is Sazaye Kaala Paani.
But
Tamil
I
is
didn't know this
Chalai.
fact about Amitabh Bachchan doing the dub.
Yeah, I had no idea.
ah.
Yeah, Kaala Paani, which had Mohanlal, had Amrish Puri.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
चलो 10 points हो गए हमारे.
10 points हो गए.
अरे यार बहुत प्रेशर बहुत प्रेशर आ गया है यार.
Okay, next direct will be to Sukant. Sukant, I'm talking about a certain animal now, which is called the dugong. Okay, the dugong, classified as a vulnerable mammal, stands as a rare example of a marine herbivore. Its primary diet comprises seaweed and other aquatic plants. Typically inhabiting shallow waters, it resides at depths ranging from 8 to 10 meters, occasionally diving as deep as 35 meters in search of food. These shallow habitats are often found in protected bays, expansive channels of mangrove trees, and less secure regions of inshore islands. Optimal habitats coincide with seaweed beds composed of sea grasses, providing the main source of sustenance. This creature, dugong, can reach up to 3 meters in length and weigh around 400 kgs. Now, after all this thing about dugong, what I want to know is, how is dugong associated with Andaman and Nicobar Islands? What is dugong's importance to Andaman and Nicobar Island? And if you've seen the quiz so far, no need to overthink, because if you've seen Andaman, Nicobar, Bangla, Kaala Paani, so don't be like, kuch to bahut atrangi cheez hoga. It's something very basic. What is, the connection of dugong with Andaman and Nicobar Islands?
Is it something to do with the divers that go to Andaman and it is
something even
No.
more obvious, like something even more closely associated with Andaman.
it's endemic. It's a species that is only found in Andaman. Nicobar.
Not only found, it's found in the Pacific belt here and there. But okay, we'll come back to you.
Oh,
I'm
no.
going to Amit.
Oh God.
Going
Yeah.
to Golu.
So
That-
I didn't get it. Jo Sukant ne bola, that is not the answer.
I'm
No.
looking at something even more basic, like very direct connection between dugong and Andaman and Nicobar, and it's not endemic to Andaman. It is found in like near Australia also and other bays also.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh. 3 meters
Very
and length
basic.
is 400 kilograms. What is the importance to them?
can we
Well,
all
I
agree that
know
this is the
one-
toughest question so far?
I know one fact about dugong, but I don't know if it is a very basic fact.
हाँ,
It's found in Nicobar, ये तो पता है. It's, I'll just say, but I don't know if that is it. It's known as the sea cow.
no, it is a
But-
type of sea cow, yeah.
But I don't know if that is
But
the-
yeah, ठीक है,
the
we'll come back to you,
importance,
Golu.
okay.
Going to Bisso.
Dugong is the state animal of Andaman and
Yes,
Nicobar.
that's all I was
Oh,
looking for.
Abbe
Dugong is the state
yaar.
animal of Andaman. Okay, it's the state animal of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. That's all I was looking for.
अच्छा, ये भी
Oh,
पता
It's
था.
a state animal.
अरे यार बिस्सो ने सारा जीके क्रैक किया हुआ है ना.
नहीं,
ये
this we
Wow.
haven't. ये research के
हाँ.
time पे.
This
ये
shows कि गोलू
हाँ.
राइटर्स रूम में ध्यान नहीं रखते because we discussed it.
नहीं तो मेरे को सी का हो याद
Dugong
था
is the
यार.
state.
मेरे को सी का हो याद था, मेरे को ये याद था.
And जैसे ही सुकान didn't know, I looked at गोलू and I was like ये तो बोल देंगे और मुझे लगा अरे ये नहीं बोल
नहीं,
पा
मेरे
रहे.
को डुगोंग याद था, मेरे को सी का हो याद था, मेरे को ये वो याद नहीं था कि अच्छा स्टेट.
अरे यार. Okay.
Okay. So it is dugong. Dugong is the state animal of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay. As always, after 2 questions, I'll take a break. This time I'm coming to Mona.
Okay.
Just I अब तो spoiler बोल ही दिया है, तो let's discuss that only. Mona, you came on this set with, you knew, I presume you knew before it started that you
मैं
are.
झूठ बोल के.
अच्छा ऐसा.
Of course I knew. Of course I knew.
So, like I compared your departure from the show to Netstar, genuinely, because when we saw the thumbnail, when we saw the like the build up to the show, and we started watching it, and we were like, okay, this looks like it will end up with you on one end and the whole evil of the world on one end, and there'll be one big this thing. And then when that episode ends, when you fall in there, I legit, the masala film fan within me was like, nahi, they'll show hospital में है या ऐसा कुछ. But then I was like, अरे तो चली गई यार, ये क्या हो रहा है यार, don't do this यार, don't do this. But how was your, like, first of all, of course, your experience with the show, but this particular aspect where you felt like, अरे यार, मुझे रहना था यार, there was so much happening there, why was I not part of the, I'm being referred to throughout my dog is there. But I'm not there. Did you feel?
Well, when we were shooting for it, I didn't feel that, because yes, it was very hectic. We did go to Andamans, and we were shooting, and everybody was working really hard. Tab nahi feel hua. But baad mein, when my shoot got over and I got to know, acha, these guys are still shooting. Oh, now the second season is being planned. I was like, arey yaar, I'm gonna miss out on this. But the fact that I have never done something like this, Indians have never seen anything like this. So for me to be a part of a show like Kaala Paani is just good enough. And I'm loving the fact, Varun, that everybody, whoever has watched the show, has missed Sodamini. And that is such a good thing to happen for a character, because otherwise the show has so many stories, so many other characters, and yet people talk about Sodamini, which is a big win for me as an actor. And मुझे इस बात की भी खुशी थी कि अच्छा they're calling me Ned Stark of GOT. It was more of a shock value for people to witness something like that, and I really enjoyed that people missed me and wanted to see more of me. I love the fact.
Because when you see bad characters, you're rooting for their death, right? मैं तो जैसे बीच में वो police, my character does something, तो मारो यार. Even
it's interesting that isn't there one episode, Bisso, in which the doctor is seen as a cadaver when Ritu wants to see her face?
Second episode, second episode.
Yeah, second episode, right? We see her as the cadaver. Almost kind of hope that this isn't true.
Yeah. Let's see, Bisso. I don't know if you can promise, but remember that Vito Corleone backstory. We can see the origins, or like Shukan said, Better Call Sodamini can be a whole.
We were while shooting for the episode. During my last scene, मैं तो Sameer Saxena, Golu, इन सबको बोल रही थी, make Sodamini sit in the pipeline, man. She will step out. We all kept joking about it.
Yeah. Okay, now we'll start the second half. The order will be Shukant, Mona, Bisso, and Golu. Okay, Shukant. Okay, we'll start now with Shukant. Okay, we're talking about a certain person now, and this person has some, again, very direct connect with Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Remember the theme of the quiz. Archibald X lived from 1752 to 1870. Served as a naval surveyor and lieutenant in the Bombay Marine. He enlisted in 1771, earned his first commission, and attained the rank of captain in 1792. As a midshipman in 1772, he embarked on his inaugural survey expedition covering the coastlines of India, Iran, and Arabia. In 1780, he held the position of lieutenant on a ship captured by a French man of war near the Cape of Good Hope, enduring captivity until 1784. After being handed over to the Dutch, he was returned to the Bombay Marine, receiving £200 for his prolonged ordeal. From 1786 to 1788, he participated in various survey missions, exploring the Chacos Archipelago, Diamond Harbour, south of Calcutta, and adjacent areas of the Hooghly River. What I want from you is his full name is Archibald X. And that X is something all five of us and everyone has heard of. Okay. What is his name that is very, very closely associated with Andaman and Nicobar Islands? Where have we heard his name?
Oh, it's got to be one of the names of the islands. You're not giving me a clue, yeah.
Clue is this, like I told Mona also, it won't be a random person. It will have something very, very directly connected with Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So Archibald X. X is something we've all heard of for sure. So very main, even if you've never been to Andaman, you've heard of X. So like not like some of the islands or something.
Sorry, your voice broke. X
Sorry,
is what? What did you say?
I was saying X is something really associated with Andaman, and even if you've not gone to Andaman, even if you know just basics of Andaman and Nicobar, there is high chance that you've heard of X. His surname you've heard of.
Surname.
Havelock.
Not Havelock. Good guess. Going to Mona.
I was just going to say Havelock. मुझे नहीं पता.
Say
I
another
passed it
name.
already.
Okay. Okay. Mona passes. We go to Bisso.
Blair.
Blair. This is Archibald Blair.
Oh, man.
Oh wow.
Port Blair.
I thought Port Blair and I thought,
Oh wow.
Yeah. Blair, he was the, like we saw, he did a lot of surveys, and so the port there was named after him. Okay, Port Blair. Is
Oh.
Archibald Blair.
Okay, nice.
Okay, 12 points there to Bisso, and we come to Golu
Wow.
now. Next direct. Golu, this is there are XYZ से confuse होने की जरूरत नहीं है. Once you read, you will understand. XY officially
These are
designated
IITians, yeah.
as officially designated as ZY is part of the Andaman Islands in the South Andaman Administrative District of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, located around 3 kilometers, roughly 2 miles east of central Port Blair. The island's historical remnants draw tourists. So this is a tourist location in Andaman. Originally named after marine surveyor Daniel X, it was renamed ZY in December 2018, honoring India's prominent freedom fighter, Z. Tell me, what are we talking about? Like, I want two names. What was the earlier name and what is now the official name?
Ask me this.
Kilometer east
Sorry,
of-
Sukant, this happens in quiz. I know.
I know the island. I don't remember कि किसके नाम पे rename किया. Do I get points for the island?
Yeah. You'll get part points if you just tell
Is
me
it Ross Island that we are talking about?
Yeah. So XY is Ross Island, Y is Island. So
Yes.
just
Yes.
I'll give you a shot to tell me Z also.
Yeah.
What is the new name? And if you
Freedom
can't,
fighter है तो I'm guessing, and Andaman है तो Savarkar.
Has to be.
no, it's not Savarkar.
Then it's the other.
Yeah, that's it.
Going
No.
to Sukant
Oh, shit.
only for Z, like the new name of the islands.
दूसरा freedom.
Subhash.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island. Yeah, it is Ross Island, also
Yeah.
known as Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island. The Modi government in 2018 renamed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sukant is also on
got
board.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. ये वाला गाइड्स को पता होता है, ये वाला बताते हैं.
Good one.
Okay, so I'm splitting points. Amit gets 5 for this, for Ross Island, and
ये वाला और Aberdeen.
and Sukant will get 6 for this because it became 11 points when it came to Sukant. Okay, now that we are at Sukant, I want to know from Sukant, how much time, Sukant, did you actually spend in Andaman before the shoot started and during the shoot started? Like how? Because you said you spoke to the locals and everything, you really worked hard on the character.
Yeah, I spent a week.
Okay.
8 days, but I cut it short to 7 days. because there was a cyclone warning on the last day, so I quickly took a flight and came back somehow. But
Hmm.
I didn't really work hard in those 7 days over
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
First 2 days I thought, ठीक है, research करना है, research करना है, research करना है.
Hmm.
But after first 2 days, I was like, research सोचता रहेगा तो enjoy नहीं कर पाएगा इधर.
Hmm.
Just enjoy, because the guy I was with was an absolute scene stealer, and he took me in his taxi. Literally, I think we scaled about 60% of the visitable Andaman,
Hmm.
all the way up to Diglipur in the north, and
Hmm.
we even sat on a beach all night at Rangat to wait for the olive ridley turtles to come and lay eggs.
Hmm.
That didn't happen, but then in the morning we saw them hatch. So all those sorts of things, and this guy was a champ. He knew birds by their calls.
Hmm.
He had traveled with Salim Ali and his son. He's
Hmm.
associated with nature conservationists in Andaman. He knows the works. He's so busy. I called him. I said, Ravi bhai, आप show देखोगे क्या? Immediately, he's too. It's not those 7 days which I really prepped in. It's what entered my system in those 7 days, and when I came back home and I sat with the script again. And when those sounds and those sights entered, I let it come in, and then I tried it at the first reading.
Hmm.
I tried to break the lines and from what I had learned, and also add the Tamil and the Bengali, and then see if the first reading it works. And I guess it kind of fit in somehow, because nobody said anything contradictory after the reading. So, in fact, Purnima Indrajit, who plays Swati, who plays
So,
Swasti. Yeah. She said, she asked me, "Are you South Indian?" And I said no. And I was like, okay, ठीक है, कहीं ठीक जा रहा है. So it was that man Ravi who was he's Andaman to me, and somehow it was. I went with the thought of prep, but I lost that idea. I think 2 days into just roaming the islands, and it's captivating presence. So yeah, I mean that was the prep really, and script was everything.
Okay. I wanted to ask one quick question from both Shrikant and Mona, purely as an actor, because I'm sure Biswa and Amit spent a lot of time researching for the show and all that. But as an actor who came little bit later on board compared to the writers, of course, logically. But was there, because in the show also and in real life also, we know Andaman and Nicobar is an ignored part of our country, because that's a beautiful scene in the there's a school scene where they say ये India का map है, and they're like नहीं, ये India complete map नहीं है, which was a beautiful thing. But did you guys, through the journey of the show, learn something new about Andaman and Nicobar or anything around this part of the world कि यार ये भी है क्या यार, ये तो मुझे पता ही नहीं था? Did that moment ever happen? Just one thing that you remember, either Shrikant or Mona, कि यार ये क्या है यार, I had no idea. ऐसा was there some moment like that?
Well,
Mona, you want to go?
see, for Sukant, though, definitely, I'm sure there will be many moments because he really traveled a lot there. For me, I didn't travel much. I was mostly in Port Blair. But what I really, really liked was that, people over there respect their island. They respect the water, they respect cleanliness, and, they don't touch things unnecessarily. They respect nature. So, जब हम लोग shoot कर रहे थे, it was a 5 a.m. call time. No, it was a 3:30 a.m. call time. And we had to catch the early morning sunlight. And I was just roaming around in the beach with the local guys and the local EP. So he was telling me, नहीं, isko mat छुओ, isko mat उठाओ, ये पत्ता mat उठाओ, just let it be, respect the place. I was like, oh, that is so important as individuals, as community, as people that we are. हम जहाँ जाते हैं गंद मचा देते हैं. We don't respect the place. So I learned that from them. I was like, you know what? Let's just listen to them and be in the place with them and not do anything which they don't like it. तो मुझे वो बहुत अच्छा लगा. Look at Goa. Goa can be as clean and as pretty.
Yeah.
But we have ruined it. Yeah.
Shrikant, anything आपके लिए एक moment, like Mona said, I'm sure बहुत सारे होंगे, but एक ऐसा.
I think because I had already been to all those places where we were shooting beforehand, and I'd already traveled. So I was already, my surprises were not so new while we were shooting. But there was one moment which I would like to point out is I had learned how to, chalao that boat because we had to shoot that scene. And when I learned it, it took a few hours of practice, and it was beautiful and all that. And early morning, I think we had a 3 a.m. call time, in the water. And it was pitch dark, and somehow after a lot of there was a DOP, me, and Vikas sir, who plays Santosh in the boat, and finally we somehow managed that shoot early morning. And when we were coming back after all the shots were taken, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And when we were coming back, tired, sleepy, the person whose boat we had hired, his name was Sarana. He used to chabao this tambaku, and he was this nonchalant big guy whose stories were abundant in Chidiya Tapu. उसको एक बंदे ने पीछे पूरा बैक में से बड़ा सा चाकू मार दिया था. Still he traveled a kilometer and went to the hospital himself and all that. Yeah. No, and he was an incredible guy. So he pointed, yeah, he looked at me and he's like, and I was like, what? He's like, and he did this thing. And I looked to my right, and there was this school of dolphins just swimming alongside our boat.
Wow.
And while I was on the boat, and for me that was the moment of the shoot. It was almost like, अब मैं इस पानी में डूब भी गया तो चलेगा. I don't care about producer or anything. So that for me was the moment of the shoot. I can't ever forget that.
Wow. Whew. Okay. Cool. We'll come back to this now. Last, Shrikant got more points on this, so I'm coming to Mona now for the next direct. Another tourist question, like some famous place in Andaman and Nicobar, basically. India's sole confirmed active volcano is situated in X, located approximately 135 kilometers south of Port Blair. Positioned on seismically active tectonic plates in the Andaman Sea, it can only be observed from a distance by ship, and disembarkation is prohibited. This place, X, is a rugged, rocky expanse with a diameter of about 3 kilometers. Last experienced volcanic eruptions in 1991 and in 1994-95. The volcano's crater, emitting smoke and bursts of light into the sky, is approximately half a kilometer from the shore. Access to this uninhabited area requires permits from the forest department, making it an intriguing cruise destination. Tell me, what place in Andaman and Nicobar Islands are we talking about, which is the only active volcano in India?
Oh God. I can't even guess. I have no clue.
Okay, are you passing?
I am passing.
Okay, passing to Bisso. Yes.
Huh? Which one?
Barren Island.
Barren Island.
Okay, Barren Island.
Barren Island.
Oh, Barren Island. The name says it all.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's why I use uninhabited many times in the question, like barren. Barren Island.
Okay.
Okay. Barren Island, Bisso gets 11, and I come to Golu for sitter
Nice
only.
picture.
Anna? Yeah. North Dash Island hosts one of the world's most secluded human communities. The Dash, estimated at approximately 300 individuals, steadfastly reject any interaction with the contemporary world, responding to intruders with arrows. Believed to be the direct descendants of the earliest human migrants from Africa, they likely have inhabited the Andaman Islands for an impressive span of up to 60,000 years. Who are we talking about?
Sentinelese.
He knows
Yes, that is right. It's a North Sentinel Island. It's about Sentinelese. Okay. 10 points there to Golu.
Fun fact, the hotel in which we were shooting the scene where like Chiru and Pundi are hiding that bag in the car. That hotel is also called Hotel Sentinel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, before we end, I'll ask something from Golu because okay, coincidentally Golu got the last answer also. Well, so I often discuss it with my friends in general, because we work in a community where you know people as people, like on a personal level, and then you sometimes see them as professionals, And it's very weird to be like, yaar, like if you have a friend, okay, and someday, and that friend is a singer, but you treat that person as a friend. One day, if you go to the concert where that friend is performing, and you're like, people are going crazy about your friend, and your friend is doing all, and you're like, अरे ये भी कर सकता है क्या? It's very, you know, that it's a very nice positive surprise you get when you see your friends in their professional capacity or achievement.
Correct.
And my first reaction to this, to Kaala Paani, was this, because for the last 1 or 2 years, Golu has been talking about, अरे कल सुबह शूट है, अरे मैं अंडमान जा रहा हूँ, अरे सुबह मीरा रोड जाना है, यहाँ जाना है, अरे बहुत आज नहीं मिल पाऊंगा, आज ये काम है, इन bunch of things, like, पता नहीं क्या कर रहा है ऐसा यार. And then you show and you're like, ये हमारे दोस्त ने बनाया क्या? Like, it's very like, so my question to you, Golu, is that me as an audience who is so far away from Kaala Paani and its making, I am being awed by watching the show. Was there a point in your whole journey of Kaala Paani where it did get overwhelming, saying, what am I making? It's too, we have come a long way from YouTube sketches and like small budget, cute little in-house web series to this, where there is a drone shot and there are, I know, ensemble, you're working with Mona Singh and Ashutosh Goa, you know, it's like, did it get very like, yaar, kya ho raha hai, yaar? Like, did
I
it
think,
get...
No, I get what you and I think बहुत सारे ऐसे moments थे, like you said, where you, just because the scale jump in this show is such a huge jump for us also, and वो काफी सारे moments है, but जैसे like if one particular thing happened was day one itself. Day one of the shoot was, और वो location भी हमें proper एक serendipity से मिली थी. It is the location where if you've seen the show, 6th episode mein, you go into that past of the tribe, how they discovered the plant and everything. तो वो जो flashback है पूरा past of, तो उसकी एक location थी, and I remember 4 o'clock in the morning हम लोग सब जा रहे हैं, and that place was not at all accessible otherwise. It was a coincidence that we stopped somewhere and वहां से पानी जाता हुआ हमें दिखा, and just for the heck of it we went there and figured out that location. तो वहां जाने के लिए भी रात भर प्रोडक्शन हैड लाइक ऑन द रॉक, दे हैव टू मेक लाइक स्मॉल grooves so that कोई चल के जा सके, अदरवाइज वी वुड हैव स्लिप एंड वी कुड नॉट वॉक अप टू द एग्जैक्ट लोकेशन. एंड वहां पे जब हम पहुंचे तो यूजुअली क्या होता है बॉम्बे में, व्हेन वी आर शूटिंग, आपको ऊपर से वो स्किमर लगाना है तो फट से वो एक स्टैंड लग जाता है, हो जाती है चीजें. एंड यहाँ पे ऑब्वियसली देयर इज नो सच वे. So the production very smartly, they had gotten local people जो आप ऐसा 10 काउंट करो और वो मतलब 20 मीटर ऊपर पेड़ पे चढ़ जाएंगे, इतनी फास्ट they would get up. And it was like a huge shock for me to see कि क्या फटफट डीओपी बोल रहा है यहाँ पे लगा दो, एंड 4 लोग साइमल्टेनियसली चढ़ रहे हैं ऊपर पेड़ पे एंड स्किमर लगा रहे हैं वहां पे. तो वहां पे मेरे को वैसा फील हुआ था फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम कि टेक्निकली we have this much resources now कि मतलब हम यहाँ बोल रहे हैं तो पेड़ों पे चढ़ के लोग लगा दे रहे हैं. So yeah, that was, and of course the boat shoot was also one of those. Like he had the moment in the boat with the dolphins. I think one shot is there, one frame that I simply love of the whole show is एक silhouette में, like it's a wide shot silhouette में like Chiru and Santosh are walking up to that boat and Chiru is आगाज की आसपास कोई और क्यों नहीं है, and वो back shot है wherein you can see the entire sky wherein left side is completely dark and right side is completely illuminated, and it is not at all CG or anything. It was like that in that case. And I remember वो जब shoot हो रहा था तब shoot होते हुए we got goosebumps, and मतलब वो वैसा वाला shot था कि भाई साहब ये कैसा.
वो जब शूट हो रहा था, आई रिमेम्बर विकास स्टैंडिंग नेक्स्ट टू मी एंड वी हैड लाइक लिटरली 2 minutes टू टेक दैट. एंड आई रिमेम्बर टेलिंग हिम, ही इज लाइक बहुत इमोशनली स्ट्रॉन्ग मोमेंट है ये वो. ऐसे सर यहाँ पे तो कुछ एक्टिंग करना ही नहीं है. हम पीछे से दिख रहे हैं, सामने देखिए क्या दिख रहा है, ये इधर सिर्फ चल के जाना है, इधर कुछ नहीं करना है, इधर दिस मूड, दिस लाइटिंग इज जस्ट, इट्स just be here. And that's what it was. 30 seconds and we were done. It's
Oh man, there are so many such moments in the show, and that I would urge everyone who's watching the stream to watch Kaala Paani on Netflix in case you haven't. I know some of you paused, went back to watch, and came
Yeah,
back here.
that's
But
what I was
some of you,
thinking.
yeah, but some of you still, some of you rebel people who are trying to show off that Matho, I'm a rebel without a cause. Please watch. I will end the stream now, end the episode now. Scores don't really matter, but yeah, if we need to have a winner, the winner was Biswapati Sarkar. Biswapati won this quiz. Okay,
So
with 45, followed by Golu on 25, followed by Mona on 10, and Shukant on 6. But that was just an excuse for us to meet. Before the Shukant also got the toughest question. In retrospect, I realized that state animal was way tougher than the brief, but that's not important. Before I let you guys go, first of all, thank you before I forget later.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking out time for this. But before I let you guys go, one quick reason if somebody hasn't watched Kaala Paani, what would you give them? कि यार अभी तक कैसे नहीं देखा one thing that you think really makes the show worth watching. We can start from anyone. We can start with Sukant, Mona, Biswa and Golu.
I think it's the writing.
It's the right.
I just keep going back to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Totally. One of the best written shows in a long time. Mona, anything, one thing you think?
For me, मुझे ऐसा लगता है it's not only first of its kind, it is one of its kind also in India, and people need to experience this Kaala Paani show because matlab it is something so beautiful, so thrilling, talks about your personal relationship, everything. It encompasses everything in a story that we as viewers need to witness. So yes, please watch Kaala Paani.
Yes, one of a kind for sure. Biswa?
But two reasons for me. I think एक तो the performances by this ensemble cast. I mean ये लोग तो हैं बस ये दोनों हैं और पूरा जो primary cast है, but even the actors who've done मतलब parts in scenes और एक दो scenes में ही हैं, even they've done phenomenal jobs और कई बार edit पे देख के लगता है यार ये तो actually उम्मीद से बेहतर आ गया. तो वो एक चीज थी जो मेरे लिए बहुत मतलब आई एम रियली प्राउड ऑफ द परफॉर्मेंसेस that are there in the show. The other thing, I think thematically we are so cut off. We stay in cities, so we are so cut off from the whole natural aspects of things, the natural order of things. So it's I think from the writing stage to finally seeing the show, I think ये बहुत मतलब of course Andaman and the setting plays a huge role in it, but just to have these characters in the heart of nature, struggling to exist, and none of these characters are like pure good or pure evil. So that is really fun to play with, and of course difficult to play with as well. But वो एक बहुत unique चीज है, I think, about the show, that there are no heroes, there are no villains, they're just people.
Oh yeah.
Golu?
Yeah. I think one word I keep talking about this also with our team also, I think serendipity is the word I keep using because like we have been working in the industry for last 11, 12 years now and like been on a lot of projects. And every time we are working with the same knowledge base, same skill set. But when magic is created in whichever shows we have made जो बहुत ज़्यादा hit करते हैं, it's not that वहाँ पे कुछ बहुत अलग effort मारा होता, but the serendipity of bringing exactly the right people and the right story and the right team together, I think that is what truly creates the magic. क्योंकि हम उतनी शिद्दत से हर बार लिखते हैं, हर बार direct करते हैं, but somehow all the pieces when they come together and they are like Bisso said, right from the performances, I think the cast of this show has been like the best put cast I've seen. I'm involved in this, but I can like very boldly claim that given the performances that they have given, and also behind the scene people, cinematography. We have not seen this kind of cinematography in Indian shows for now. Be it music, be it the production department, the challenge of taking everybody and actually taking up the task of shooting in real Andaman. We could have easily cheated this in Thailand or Sri Lanka, there are ways to do it, pata bhi nahi chalta. But to take up that challenge, ki hani us jagah ko, we want to show that place as it is. I think it was a serendipitous moment in which all these elements came together, and thankfully the show also did well.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay, so the writing, performance, one of a kind, serendipitous. So many reasons to watch the show. Thank you, Golu, Bisso, Mona,
Thank you, Varun.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Kevi,
so
for
much,
having
Varun.
us.
This was thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And audience, please go
Happy
and watch Kaala Paani.
Diwali.
Happy Diwali, everyone. Festive season. Happy Chhat Puja, Govardhan
Happy
Puja, everything
Diwali.
that's happening
Everything.
in all
Bye.
parts of the country. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.